Hello, everybody. It has been quite interesting time for me. My son is graduated high school. A lot of emotions. My book is published. My book launch was last week on Wednesday, and it was absolutely amazing event. I had the pleasure to have full room. A lot of people came, and it's overwhelming, all of this. So I have been giving myself a little bit of space to just breathe, because I did not realize, but writing a memoir, it's not easy. It comes with a lot of discomfort, with a lot of moments that need to be overcome. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to have you here. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's a big accomplishment. I'm not going to be shy here. It's definitely a big accomplishment. And it comes with a lot of discomfort, comes with a lot of vulnerability, and something that I really want to talk about it, that I move my timing a little bit, because the book was heavy on me. It was, although it has been processed a lot, it was heavy on me, and I just needed to be released. What I mean is heavy. It was heavy on me. I had a lot of back pain. I had a lot of issues with my arms. So I decided to squish everything and release it earlier, and it did work. Funny enough, it did work. The pain, it's gone. I'm able to move my hands pretty freely, and I'm happy. But I didn't realize how much weight I have been holding. Probably the easiest way to describe it is, after the book launch, I felt like I have been holding a moving train with my body. And the book launch, in a way, was releasing it, allowing all of this, just putting myself on the side, releasing all the pressure and the power that this train has been moving with. And it did work. However, it took me a week to recover, because my body was tired of holding, and it was a very interesting experience. Definitely, I'll do it again if I have to. But it was absolutely amazing. So today I want to talk about all of this and so much more. But let's start from there, from those moments that crack something open, not very loud, but completely cracked it open. And I want to share moments from where I started, how my entire body was part of this work with me, because it's fascinating to see how the body and the mind work together, and what it means when, for me, everything started with grief. But I want to talk about what it means when grief becomes the beginning of something much bigger, much larger than life. And it's the beginning of understanding, the beginning of starting something new, instead of just the end of something. So it's a huge beginning of understanding, not just the end of something. So I'll speak to that, and then at the end I will, not at the end, but probably halfway, I'll hold a meditation that it really resonated with me, and I hope it will resonate with you, because I realized I overcome a lot of things with that book, but I also realized that we have to slow down and take time for ourselves, allow ourselves to take space as well in this existence in order to move forward. And address all those questions that we're kind of putting on hold. I recently, on Monday, I had a coffee with a friend, and she was fascinated with this work. But at the same time, she was completely honest. She's like, I'm scared. I'm scared because this is my identity. This is who I have been for so long. And all those stories that I live in, they're me. What's gonna happen if I face it, who I'm going to become? And those are very valuable questions that we all have to ask ourselves and see what those means to us. And are we ready to face it, or we're just avoiding it? And I told her, I'm like, you cannot avoid that. It's sooner or later it's going to catch up on you. And it's better sooner, because later it's too heavy. So don't be afraid to face it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Diana Oskov. I'm a rapid transformational therapist. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and a life coach. I specialize in generational cycles. And yes, my story started with losing my dad. He passed away at 61, as slowly, one by one, his organs stopped working. And while there was a valid medical reasoning behind that, there was this nagging voice that was chasing me and telling me that there's so much more behind it. And sure enough, it was. So I started digging, and I started discovering many different things, mainly about my dad. I started really learning who that person was that I never knew. But the interesting part here is the meaning, what it means when the body knows something that the mind hasn't yet admitted. And that voice that was chasing me, that was not allowing me to sleep, that was nagging and kind of not allowing me to rest, not allowing me to grieve even, it kept pulling me towards the question. And that is the fascinating part, because sometimes the body knows before the mind is ready to admit what is happening. And this isn't only the losing, when you lose somebody. It doesn't have to be a parent. It has to be just a loved one or a friend. Anyone who ever lost someone know that in this particular situation, there's a lot of kind of unrest. And grief isn't just sadness. It's a lot of questions and that literally lead to nowhere to go. And I had a friend who really well described that. It's like if you imagine a box, and the grief is the ball that is jumping all over the box, ever jumping ball. You experience many different things at the same time. It's like very moving over, no specific order, just everything at once. And this continues to happen until you allow yourself to grow bigger. They say, many people say, oh, grief become easier with time. No, it does not become easier with time. Time does not heal. What heals is allowing ourselves to go bigger than life, expand ourselves to that from that moment where this happened. And the more we expand ourselves, the more we learn, the easier is to overcome, not to overcome, but to accept the grief. And so grief can be its end also, but it can be beginning. It can be beginning, and for me it was the beginning of understanding that there is so much more. there was so much more about my dad. I didn't know that he was living with childhood adversity in his mind and holding it for so many years without sharing with any of us. And this, when I started digging, I not only rediscovered himself, but hypnosis also allowed me to learn about him, about his childhood, but also to learn that the unprocessed emotions can make other organs to weep. And this is exactly what was happening with him. All those unprocessed emotions that he had been putting on the side, avoiding for his entire life, hiding from everybody, including my mom, they catch you up. They're not gonna stay quietly. They're gonna surface up at one point, and if they cannot find a way out, they will make other organs to weep. I do believe in that, and my dad is a testament for that, for that saying. So that also was a huge awakening call for me. I finally allowed myself to unleash my curiosity to human behavior and to explore the different behaviors, to become aware of the generational patterns and generational cycles and how they're affecting us. So I started learning, I started working more than anything on my own blueprint. I think it has to start from there. It has to start with your own blueprint. So I started discovering my limiting beliefs, the unprocessed emotions that I have been holding in my body, the generational cycles and patterns that were holding me back. And I really had the strong desire, learning all of this, seeing my personal transformation, to tell everybody. To tell everybody that there is opportunity for that, opportunity to bring back to the surface your gifts that we're all born with. So this is how I started to write that book, with my story, because I decided, I believe that if I tell my story, I can inspire somebody. And because we all have stories, but it's important to share those stories. I say that many times, and I'll say it again. We are all humans. We're all the same, but at the same time, we're all different. And so I started working on my blueprint. I started digging in. And it's very important to understand that what happened to you in your childhood is not your responsibility. That was the responsibility of your parents, the caregivers, the adults in your life, everybody who have been around you. And unfortunately, or fortunately for somebody, those are the people who set up your blueprint. Those are the people who set up my own blueprint. But here the important part is, it happened to you, not with you. And there is a difference in that. And now, as you're an adult, it's your responsibility to upgrade this blueprint, to recover from what happened, to meet your unmet needs, to question those beliefs that you live with, to release those unprocessed emotions. And saying all that, of course, babies don't come with honor manual. And I'm not blaming anybody for about what happened to me in my childhood, especially my parents. I do believe that there's no parents that wake up in the morning, go to Google and search how I can screw my kid. We all operate based on where we are in life, how much knowledge we have, and how far we are able to see. So you cannot blame anybody for where you are in life. But if you see it, if you able to acknowledge your unmet needs, it's your responsibility to meet those needs, because now you're an adult and you have the opportunity and you have the ability to reparent yourself. What else? So I decided to share my story, but sharing my story, it's not easy because it felt very vulnerable. Writing a memoir, it's very vulnerable moment, and I'm sharing to be able to share the real stories, the ones that shaped me and broke me open and changed everything, sometimes very quietly. It's not easy because this comes with a lot of limitations. And I didn't want to make a self-help book. I don't have the recipe for that. But I also didn't want to be a straight autobiography. I wanted to be a pure, honest experience, coming from the bottom of my heart, and asking the question, to encourage the reader to ask the question, what I can learn from this story. So I allowed myself to write it for everybody who thought their story is too ordinary to matter, or it's too painful to revisit, or it's too complicated to explain. And pretty much this is all of us. I always had a desire to write a book. Always have this nudge in me, and I always knew that I can do it. But this comes with a lot of beliefs, a lot of limiting beliefs, that this is something that I discover for myself. For example, in my personal situation, I use the excuse that English is my second language and it's too big of a barrier to overcome. I doubted myself, who I am. Do I have the capability to craft such a narrative to be called a book one day? And this nagging voice of how can I write a book often was in my mind, doubting my identity as a writer and questioning whether I had the rights to claim such a title. Of course, with the time, I did enough work on myself to overcome those beliefs. I quietly inside me, I knew that I can do it. Back home, I was really good in writing, and when it comes to my paper assignments in high school and college, I was really good. But of course, that was in different language. So the structure is different, the grammar is different, and my struggle was real. But again, it's a story. And that was a story that I had to overcome. And in order to be able to hold that book at the end, in order to be able to share my story with the world. And I did it. Because I worked and I found out the labels that were preventing me, those beliefs, where those come from. How do I need to hold into them? Are they my beliefs or they're somebody else's belief? And everything just started to happen. Then was the need of somebody to help me. Of course, if English is my second language, my daughter really suggested that I don't have to do this alone. So I hired somebody to help me with that. And I was absolutely lucky to found Natalie Kernief, my editor. She is award-winning writer with over 25 years of experience. And she read my stories at the beginning, the raw stories, and she said, "Diana, those are great, but they're written from the wound. Now we have to rewrite them from the scar." And I really didn't understand what that meant at the beginning, but I trusted her. The most important part for me was to be able to keep my voice and to be able to have when my friends and people who knows me in general read the book, hear my voice in their minds, saying everything that I have to say to them. So finding the the mentor, the coach, and the editor at the end was very important. And she did a lot of work with me. She did the heavy lifting, and at the same time, working on this project, she dusted very carefully every corner of my life, because you cannot really write a memoir without dusting every corner of it. So Natalie stuck with me, even though we were on the opposite side of the world. She even visited me in Plovdiv, my hometown in Bulgaria, met my family, and really saw me for who I am. I think that only made our work together much more special, and in a way, we were able to craft a very honest and real book. All of this come with the technical difficulties as well, not just emotional but technical difficulties as well, because it took a while to write, and then we edited it so many times, and then at the end I thought we're done. But then it's just like with a newborn baby. When you take it home, it takes time to settle down, to establish a routine, to get down to the daily life. And just when everything seems in place, they start eating. Exactly the same thing happened with that book. We're able to have everything done with the writing, and then the formatting and printing came along. So lucky for me, I had a team of people who joined me in that part of the process and helped me, because I didn't even know that a text PDF file can contain colors in it. But the people who jump in to help really knew what they're doing about. And they say it takes a village to raise a child. I can really rephrase this and say it takes a village to publish a book. But it was totally worth it. And at the end of the day, a lot of emotions were involved. Happiness and laughter and frustration and tears and a lot of stress and tons of sleepless nights. But it taught me patience. It taught me to let go of control where it really wasn't in my control in the first place. It taught me to be acceptant. It taught me to accept. It gave me a clear vision at the moments where I was really lost. And at the same time, it was an unforgettable journey that I didn't really anticipate it, but I welcomed with my whole heart, and I really allowed it to happen. So it takes courage and it takes time. It really evolved from where I started, but the version that I came up with, it's really the best one. It's really the one that I envisioned and the one I wanted everybody to read. And it's important to, I think one thing that I really hope that people can see, that fix, it's not out there. The fix is in you. We are all born with so many gifts that we buried under the different labels we attach to ourselves during the growing up. But it starts with us. Only I can remove the labels that were hiding my gifts. Only I can reactivate the self-worth, the self-confidence, the happiness, the joy, the health. Those are not available out there. I cannot just go and buy them from somewhere. Those are in us. And we are the one who can reactivate this with work. But first, we start with allowing ourselves to have the space to breathe. Because we all have a story. And we all live in our own stories. But not only that, the scary part is that we believe in our stories. And I think it's time to question those stories for real, and to start to to start asking the questions. Are they working for us or not? Where do those stories come from in the first place? Are they real? How do we know if they're real? Why do we believe in them? What they do for us or don't do for us. Start to see the blueprint that is running your life. And to be absolutely honest with you, you will be amused how old is that version of it. Because this blueprint is just like a GPS system. It needs to be upgraded every so often. But in today's life, we spend money upgrading our houses, cars, TV, clothes, phones, apps, everything. But we rarely, if ever, spend time and money upgrading the most important part that is running our life. The mind. The blueprint. And I want you to start from there. Asking those questions, seeing those stories that you live in, understand where they come from, get to know them, see if they're yours. You will be surprised. So many people are not living even in their stories. They live in the stories of their parents, grandparents, uncle and aunts, or some stories that they have seen somewhere and adopted it and hold on into it to the end of their lives. So start from there and see how much you can see in order to move forward. One thing that I didn't manage to do, sharing my stories, the beginning, as I mentioned, the whole process evolved a few times. And at the beginning, I had the idea to, with my stories, to wave different client stories. But at the end, I decided to start with my story. And I'm very grateful that I have very brave clients who decided that are willing to share their stories with us. And they come from very different dazzling arrays of socioeconomicals and ethnical and cultural backgrounds. People who are depressed and anxious, people who are experiencing grief, stuck with addiction or struggling with sleep problem, imposter syndrome or perfectionism. But above all, they're all are normal people, just like us, willing to ask the hard question and willing to upgrade their blueprint and to sit their current lives in order to move forward. But don't worry, those stories will be shared as well. And I shared some of them many times before, but I will organize and share them a little bit more cohesive in order for deeper understanding and for better knowledge, better sharing to the stories that can resonate with you, because we're all the same. So now I want to invite you to that part of my talk that is dedicated to this guided meditation. So just give the next few moments to yourself and come with open mind. Bring your attention into the present moment and see where this guided meditation can take you. I will play a little bit of music. Hopefully this will not interact with my voice, but if it does it, please let me know and I will play it accordingly. Alrighty. So bring your attention to the body. Sit comfortable and allow yourself to be still for the next few minutes. Breathe in and breathe out. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Breathe in again. And let go. Let your shoulders drop a little bit. And you know how they're relaxing with each breath out. Feel how the skin on your face is relaxing. Your entire head is relaxing. Your neck is relaxing. Notice how your body feels supported from the chair or the surface beneath you. Notice any tension in your body. And just let it go. Breathe in and breathe out into it. Notice how your entire body is relaxing. At that moment, I invite you to bring your mind to something that you have been carrying. Maybe not the heaviest thing, just something, a feeling, a question, a weight that you have never actually stopped asking. Whether do you need to carry it in the first place? Let it surface in your own time. There is no rush here. And once you have it, just notice it. You don't need to fix it or explain it. Just see it. Acknowledge it that it's there. Allow it your attention, but don't try to change it. Breathe. It has been heavy for a very long time. See it for what is it? How big is it? Does it have a texture? What color is it? Is it solid? Does it have a particular shape, or it's organic? Where is it in your body? Does it have specific location? Ask yourself gently, how long have I been carrying this? See if any answers come. A feeling of duration, a sense of when it arrived. You don't need the full story, just a sense of it. Allow your body and mind to speak to you. To give you the answers. To see it for what it is. breathe. That can be heavy, especially if you have been carrying it for a long time. Notice how your body is arising when you breathe in and relaxing when you breathe out. Notice if the shape is changing or the color or the texture. Is it the same size or it gets smaller? Be curious. And now ask, is this mine to carry? Or is this something I picked up because no one ever suggested I could set it down? There is nothing to resolve right now. You don't have to put it down. Just notice that it has weight. Notice that it has history. And then you'll notice that at some point, when you're ready, you will get to decide what to do with it. Remember that you're an adult now, and you own the power to meet your unmet needs, to resolve your emotions, to upgrade your blueprint, to reparent yourself, and give yourself the parent you always wanted to have. Breathe. I know that comes heavy. But you're powerful. And you're able to hold it. In fact, you have been holding it for so long. Breathe. And at some point, when you're ready, you get to decide what to do with it. Now I want to invite you to bring your attention back to your breath. Feel the weight of your body, whatever you're sitting on. Feel your toes and fingers. Hear the sounds and noises around you. And when you're ready, let your eyes open. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Were you able to find something that you have been carrying? Were you able to understand if it's yours or not? How long you have been carrying it? Share with us if you feel like it's always nice to see other people's experiences. And I want you to know that this is not one-time job and done. We evolve every day. And as we evolve, this impermanence keep on coming, keep on evolving with us. And no, you don't have to deal with something every day. You don't have to overcome something every day. But we're evolving. And it's normal every once in a while to stumble on something. But when you have done the work, when you're allowing yourself to have the space and the time for yourself, you know how to deal with it. And every time it's a little bit easier because your toolbox have more tools and you know how to use the appropriate tools to address the next situation. So I'm starting a new series called Generational Resilience, Breaking Generational Cycles. And more than anything, I'll be sharing with you my personal stories, much deeper than I have been sharing until now. And I want to inspire you, to give you permission to pay attention to your stories, the stories that you live in, you believe in, and to see if they're yours in first place, how they are shaping you. Are they helping you? And if they're holding you back, I want to give you permission to upgrade them, because you hold the power to upgrade those stories. If you start questioning them, and you will see if they are not yours, they will start to fade. They will start to expire and just dissolve. Not overnight, but with the time. Because the truth does not like to be questioned. The truth is the truth. If it's not, then you will figure it out. You will see it. It will go away. You'll be surprised how old those stories are. You'll be surprised that they come from your parents, grandparents, maybe teachers. I had a few stories coming from my teachers. And in general, people who have given you a label in your life, and you are still holding into that label. I want to be the one giving you permission to remove that label and see how much easier you can breathe. See how much beautiful life can be. Explore those forbidden fields that you always dreamed of. Write down all the should've, could've, would've you have in your mind. But before everything, sort out